Hello everyone and welcome to another custom figure showcase, and today we are looking at this custom Regeneration set from the 60th anniversary that at the time of recording we still don't know the name of. However, I've just noticed I've made a slight error. I haven't changed this on the box, which still says Power of the Doctor. Gonna have to update that. But yes, so this is my own interpretation of a Regeneration set for that episode, whatever it may be called. So I decided to use the Regeneration set from the Regeneration set box because I had one spare and it seemed to work quite well. Obviously the 15th Doctor figure is as he appears in the teaser bit, and then I decided to do a coatless version of the 14th Doctor because again I had one spare and I thought it would be a good one to do. Overall the box is pretty much the same. I have considered, or I did consider changing one or two bits here and there to make it look a bit more unique, but for now I decided to keep it the same. That's why the title error is still there. But I did remove the exterior flap just because I like to sort of, you know, see these custom sets like this on display. So I wanted to make it a bit different. I may change the interior card depending on sort of what happens in the episode to make it a bit more sort of centric, because for those who don't know, the teaser preview of the 15th Doctor, where he's saying, you know, what the hell is going on here, the background of that, all the clouds, is apparently a bit of misdirection. That's not the backdrop that's actually going to appear in that scene. It's done to preserve spoilers, so it's going to be interesting to see actually how it's going to appear on screen. But yeah, overall the outer box looks very good, but obviously let's get into it and have a look at the figures themselves. So first up here we have the 14th Doctor Coatless figure. Overall, the general body is the same. I've used the standard 14th Doctor figure. I've obviously, as you can see, repainted the back of the waistcoat, put the little bit of cross hatching on the back of the trousers. The head is a custom sculpting a custom cast of the standard 14th Doctor head, which I've then added on my own sort of additions to the hair, and I've obviously added on the glasses from, I believe, an aged 11th Doctor figure, again just to, you know, make the figure stand out and look a little bit different. Whether or not he's going to wear those glasses while he is not coated or not remains to be seen, but as you may notice, it is the arms which are the most different, because I've seen lots of other customs of this this particular figure, and they're all very good. I want to make it clear, this isn't a criticism of anyone else's customs. They've all come out very, very good. And I was going to go down the same route of using the Castrovalva 5th Doctor or Traken 4th Doctor figure arms, because they are ball jointed to fit into the standard 14th Doctor body, which obviously has ball jointed arms. But going back and quickly re-watching the trailer, I noticed that in the very brief clip we get of him without his coat on, he actually does have his sleeves slightly rolled up. So I decided to use the arms from a Raggedy 11th or Raggedy 10th, whichever one you want to use, Doctor, from either the B&M set or the Time Crash, no, the 11th Doctor Crash set from Series 5. The problem that presented obviously is that these are peg mounted shoulders rather than ball jointed shoulders. So what I ended up doing was putting in some milliput in and around the shoulders on the inside of the torso of the 14th Doctor. I then used the screw trick for replacing snapped joints, which if you go over to my how to do series, you can see that rather than explaining it more here. And so I used that to create some new extended peg joints, and then putting a bit of cling film in and around the wet milliput, I then sandwiched the body together with the arms inside. So because of the cling film, it means it won't all stick together once it dries. So then once I'd opened it, it was all ready and easy to put it together. It's a system that works quite well. It's one that I might do a how to do video on in future, because I think it's one that presents a lot more sort of opportunities for custom figures and things like that. But yeah, overall, I think it's come out really well. It's certainly, I think, one that it would be a real shame if we didn't get this as an official figure in future. Although I get the feeling, and this is just my own speculation, if we do, I reckon what character would it probably do is either go down the route of using the Castrovalva or Traken arms, or possibly use the raggedy arms like I've done here, but the upper shoulder part would be a new sculpt, so it could still have the ball jointed shoulders whilst fitting the lower body arms onto it. I think that would also work well, and I think it would certainly look the part. I certainly hope that they'd also give us a glasses head sculpt, but you know, whether or not that happens or not is a different matter. But you know, I'm really pleased with the finished product of this one. It certainly does look the part, and yeah, I do hope we do get an official one in future. And here we have the post-Regeneration 15th Doctor, who is going to appear in the 60th anniversary. First things first, I want to give a huge shout out to Scott over at Gallifrey Customs on Twitter and Instagram for this fantastic head sculpt that he made. I know he's recently done an update to it, so I think they're going to be made available through NDW Designs as well. So if you're interested in doing custom versions, be sure to keep a lookout for that. I'm certainly going to be in the market for another one myself. But absolutely sterling work on this head sculpt. It really so does look the part. Absolutely fantastic, really does look brilliant. So overall we have again a raggedy Doctor body figure. There's not really a huge amount to say about it. The only sort of differences I've really made to the sculpt, as you can see, is I've sculpted on the new tie. I cut off the old one, sculpted on the new tie as he comes around, and also sculpted on the shirt so it's a bit more open as well. Other than that, it's basically just a repainting the shirt white, repainting the trousers and the shoes. It's a little bit of a shame that I didn't wait until we got the official figure and then repainted the trousers in a sort of a brown tone that was more akin to what we got. They do look slightly different in the box, as you probably have just seen or will see if you look again at the end of this video. Other than that, you know, I really am pleased with the figure. I certainly hope that we do get an official post-regeneration figure, because, you know, we've had them for most of the other Doctors, not all of them. It's certainly one that I would love to see, and you know, personally, I'm also still holding out hope they one day give us a post-regeneration 13th Doctor, because obviously we are missing that one. It'd certainly be a nice one to see. On that note, I would actually just like to say as well, as if CO are watching this particular video, I think a great idea would be to do a post-regeneration set, rather like the 13 Doctor set we got and things like that, but you've actually got all the Doctors in their previous incarnations outfits as far as you can go at the very least, because obviously there's some of them don't necessarily appear or have slightly interesting choices of how they regenerate in terms of clothing and things like that. But I think, you know, doing a set of as many as they can, not just putting, you know, a previous head on a new not just putting a new Doctor's head on a previous body sculpt. Do a few changes here and there, you know, make a few small changes, maybe some new parts, because again, if it's sold in the same sort of limited quantities and at the same price as the 13 Doctors or 12 Doctors set, I forget which one's which, the big one that they had with sort of all 12 Doctors plus the War Doctor, etc. I think it was probably the 13 Doctors set then. Either way, that big set they did, if they did more figures like that, it really would, I think it really would sell well, and people would buy it at that price if it had them all post-regeneration. It'd certainly be one I'd like to see. And you never know, actually, a good way to sell it, you know, I don't want... Sounds like I'm giving character options ideas now, which I am, and I know some people might not like me for what I'm about to suggest. Make this post-regeneration figure an exclusive to that set. That's what I would do if it was me, because then you definitely get people buying it, or that, you know, you would at least give the sets some value. Obviously, it would be quite an expensive set. I do appreciate that, but it wouldn't be necessarily such a bad idea. Or at the very least, give us, you know, post-Regeneration 13th Doctor that's exclusive to that set or something like that. You know, I think it would certainly be one that would be very interesting. I think the 13th Doctor actually would be a better bet than this, because I think Ncuti Gatwa's 15th Doctor is one that I think more people are going to be wanting more than they would be wanting a 13th Doctor post-Regeneration. So I think that would probably actually be a better bet to put that one in there. But, sorry, I digressed. The finished figure, as I've got here, which is what I'm supposed to be talking about. Really pleased with how it's come out. Really does look the part. Certainly hope we do get an official one in future. You know, because it would be very easy to do with using... I mean, let's be honest, you could use this same base figure. I know it wouldn't have the shoulder articulation and things like that, but it could be done with a new head sculpt. I think it really would look the part and look fantastic to see it as an official figure. So that brings to a close another custom figure showcase and another Regeneration set. I do have another one planned coming soon, not from a more recent thing. It is something which we have sort of seen before, but I'm going to do my own custom version of it. As always, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Like, favorite, subscribe, share, it really helps me out a lot. And be sure to description below for a link to my Patreon. There is an update coming on my figure animation soon, but in the meantime, please remember that any donations to my channel, no matter how small, really do help my channel keep going. You know, cost of living, but also cost of production, things like that have gone up. So, you know, things like electricity, etc. I do, you know, try to put as much of my takings as I can back into the channel. But you know, it does add up trying to keep you know, a YouTube channel running and things like that, especially when it comes to paint, spares, etc. Blah 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 blah. You get the idea. So I really do appreciate all the donations, and for the smallest donation, you can get your name at the end of my videos. I salute you all, and I will see you with another video very soon.